Education and Information Department of the Commission on Elections, and I will be your host for the day. To formally begin with our program, let us all rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Thank you very much. You may now take your seats. Once again, pleasant morning to all. Today marks another milestone as COMELEC enters into another partnership agreement with DEMWatch to promote voter education among the Filipino youth and first-time voters in connection with the upcoming May 9, 2022 national and local elections. More details of this project will be mentioned during the delivery of messages by the parties to this agreement, after which we will have the actual signing of the contract to be followed by a photo opportunity for the media and the Q&A portion with our panelists. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the signatories to this agreement. For the Commission on Elections, we have Acting Chairperson Socorro King and Commissioner Amy P. Perlino. For Democracy Watch Philippines, here with us today, the lead convener, Mr. Francisco Javier E. Palaman, and conveners Mr. Lloyd E.M.C. Zaragoza and Mr. Orlando O. Gonzalez. Now, let us proceed to hear the messages from the party's main signatories. May I call on the lead convener of Democracy Watch Philippines, Mr. Francisco Javier E. Palaman.
Hello. Hi, good morning. Una-una po, I'd like to thank po Chair Inting and Commissioner Ferolina for having us here today and for agreeing to this Memorandum of Agreement with Democracy Watch for voter education. Kami po sa Democracy Watch po ay advocates of good governance and electoral reform. At since 2015 po ay nagpapasalamat po kami sa COMELEC for the continued partnership to be able to push our advocacy to educate and work with the youth voters and first-time voters on electoral reform, on rather voter education and ensuring an informed vote of the Filipino youth. So yun na po. Thank you very much, and we look forward to working with the Commission on this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pangalaman. Now, from the Commission on Elections, may I call on our acting chairperson, Socorro, for her message.
Commissioner Amy Servino, our partners from Democracy Watch Philippines, or DEMWATch, headed by its lead convener, Mr. Francesco Javier Patanan, our friends from the media who are here today, my fellow election workers, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Greek philosopher Diogenes once remarked, the foundation of every state is the education of its youth. It is with this thought in mind that I commend DEMWATch for its firm commitment to educating our young voters for the forthcoming 2022 national and local elections. Unlike the other MOA entered into by this commission, this memorandum of agreement with DEMWATch has its focus on voter education among the Filipino youth and first-time voters. And rightly so, our young voters actually constitute a large chunk of the total number of registered voters. Hence, putting emphasis on educating the youth shall definitely create a big impact on the selection of our leaders come May 9. On the part of the Commission, and consistent with the terms and conditions contained in the MOA, we would like to assure you of our full support to your institution's virtual voter education campaign dubbed as Vote Right 2022. Considering that we are still in a pandemic and cell phones and laptops remain to be means of outlet for the youth who are stuck at home, your approach of holding your voter education campaign via virtual or online platforms is certainly fitting and effective in reaching the greatest number of participants. In the conduct of these virtual campaigns, we may always impress upon our young voters the fact that the nation is counting on them, not just in the responsibilities they are going to take in the future, but also in the choices that they make today. Ang kabataan ay hindi lamang pag-asa ng bayan, kundi maaasahan ng bayan. Maraming salamat at muli magandang umaga sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much, Acting Chair. Let us now proceed to the actual signing of the Memorandum of Agreement. May I call on the usherettes to bring forward the copies of the contracts, please? Thank you.
Ano yun, sir? Parang may ano. Sir. Sige, mamaya. Basta parang ayaw ko na itapit. Bakit bumaba? Wala dito eh, no?
Sa podium lang, hindi sa podium na may siya.
Hindi, may press con. Sa press con. May press con ko ba?
COMELEC and DemWatch has been signed. Congratulations to the Commission on Elections and Democracy Watch Philippines. Let us all give them a round of applause. Alright, thank you very much po. The Memorandum of Agreement will be notarized within this event. Now let us proceed with the Q&A to be moderated by COMELEC EID's Information Officer, Ms. Sarah Jane Assis. Thank you very much, and now I will turn you over to Ms. Sarah.
Hi, good morning everyone. Good morning our guests and commissioners, acting chair and Commissioner Sereno. We'll now proceed to the question and answer. So we have a queue here, and first we have John Villarreal from ABS-CBN.
Hi, po. I'm John from for comment, how did you come up with a decision to tap Democracy Watch specifically for this campaign and for this segment of voters, yung youth and first-time voters? Like, bakit po sila? And for Democracy Watch, how would you make this interesting po sa youth, yung mga kanino kayo makikipag-partner na universities? Yun po. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Can we get an answer from acting chairperson Meeting as to the reason why the COMELEC partnered with, chose to partner with Democracy Watch with voter education ahead of the 2022 polls?
Me too.
DemWatch has been COMELEC's partner since 2015, right? And they have a track record. And they are, DemWatch is catering to not only to the first-time voters, but also to the youth. So there is really a need for voter information campaign so that the youth and the first-time voters will have an informed choice.
Thank you, Acting Chair. Can we get a reaction from
Okay. For the question. So we have been working with the Commission since 2015 on voter education. At the time, syempre po, before the pandemic, nakakapag-ikot po tayo sa mga schools. Umiikot po tayo with the COMELEC, dinadala po natin yung VCM, yung voter machine, so that students are able to, especially first-time voters, yung mga from universities like Ateneo, here in NCR anyway, UP, LaSalle, UST, so that they're able to try for themselves how the machines work. This is really in our hopes to give them confidence that their vote will be counted on election day itself. Now that we're in a pandemic, of course, things have changed, and now we've gone virtual as a necessity, and now we're trying to keep it interesting. Of course, it's given us an opportunity to reach a broader audience. Now po, we're actually working with several dozens of schools on possibly having this voter education campaign reach not only here in NCR in Luzon, but also Visayas and Mindanao. And of course, to your question about how to make it interesting, we're also taking this opportunity to engage students and the participants of our virtual events in asking them as well what if they have any questions or what issues matter to them most when it comes to the 2022 elections. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Would Lloyd also have an answer? Okay, so for the second question, we have Mr. Dan Hamilton from UNTV.
Morning po. Follow up lang siguro, ano ba yung mga challenges ngayon na gagawin ninyo? Ay, yung ma-encounter ninyo, na considering po, pandemic tayo, and then, nung mga nakaraan ay face-to-face pa, pwede pa kayong pumunta sa mga school. Marami pong mga bata. Pero ngayon, hindi pa naman lahat ay face-to-face. Ano po yung mga contingency ninyo na maaaring gawin po? Thank you.
Yes, from the watch.
I'll answer that. No, so yes, thank you. No, so like I said, you're right. No, there are challenges. So I mentioned earlier that this virtual venue has allowed us to reach a broader stakeholder group. But at the same time, there are also issues that come along with it. No? So isa na nga po dun is yung disinformation na nakikita po natin na very rampant ngayon pong election season, not only during elections, even before. And that's why po we've incorporated this issue into the voter education program that we have. Kaya rin po, for us kasi Democracy Watch po, we think that for a democracy that knowledge is power. And that's why really this is one of the messages that we carry when we talk to the different students across the country. So we actually po had an event in February 22 and si COMELEC through Director James Jimenez was able to speak and share his thoughts as well. So we were very thankful for the COMELEC for their participation there and for their continued participation for our events to come. Thank you.
Thank you. For the third question, we have John from RG Cruz from ABS-CBN.
Hi, good morning. For Democracy Watch, if we look at the the latest public opinion surveys, it seems that voters have already made up their minds insofar as who their choices are for May. Is part of your aim as a group under this program to alter the minds or to convince the voters that they may have other choices left for the election? That's my only question.
Take it again? All right. Yeah, so thank you for the question. So you were asking about, your question included, right, the recent surveys. So I think what it also shows us, the recent surveys show us, is that over a short period of time that people's opinions do change and quite quickly. But that being said, Democracy Watch does not take sides in the elections. What our advocacy really is to raise discussions and push the discourse on issues that we think are relevant to the elections. So when it comes to our advocacy and the way we engage our students and first-time voters, our objective isn't to change minds, but rather to inform them and give them the tools to be able to make informed decisions when it comes to the May 9 elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Paco. For question from Rappler, Dwight Nereo.
Hello po, good morning. I have two separate questions po. One for Democracy Watch, since it's called Democracy Watch na, and siguro to be a little more straightforward, parang how does the presence of a late dictator son in the presidential race affect your voter education initiatives? And in relation to that, siguro itanong ko na rin kay Commissioner Inting. Good morning po. Where are we on the Marcos cases? I understand that you're involved in most, if not all, of the petitions. 3 are the subject of en banc review, and 1 still pending in the division level. So, yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight. Let's tackle the first question for the watch.
I'll take the first question before Chair takes over. But you were talking about, of course, one of the candidates for the 2022 elections. Of course, for Democracy Watch, like I said earlier, I'll reiterate that we aren't taking sides in our advocacy. Instead, what we do is we want to push the issues. We want to highlight facts and documents and videos that show the facts of what actually happened in the history of the Philippines. In terms of building the way we've built our democracy. So that's what we've done and we will continue to do. It's to raise awareness for the issues and to give students and first-time voters the tools to be able to make informed decisions on their own.
There is a petition filed before the first division, which has been decided already, and there is also another case filed before the second division. Constitution, which has already been decided. These decisions of the both divisions are now subject of a motion for reconsideration. And I believe that this has been grappled to a length, the identity of which I do not know yet because this is confidential. So we just have to await the release of these MRs.
Acting Chair, just to follow up, do we expect a resolution of all these cases before election day, or do we expect them to be elevated to Supreme Court before election day? May ganun din ba goals ang commission? Thank you po.
Well, definitely, this case, the MRs, the motion for reconsideration, have to be decided before election. Thank you.
For the next question from TV5, Gregorio.
Morning po, Gregorio from TV5. For the comment, how are we going to, how sure are we that we are going to make sure that this partnership will withstand any possible criticisms in the future, since in the recent, since the Commission has garnered a lot of criticisms in your past signed memorandum of agreement, in particular with Rappler. And even the Office of the Solicitor General has given COMELEC until March 4 to possibly na tanggalin yung COMELEC Rappler MOA.
Thank you, sir. Can we get your reaction from
Well, if you have observed, DemWatch is a low-key entity, and it has built a track record since 2015, and we did not experience any controversy in our partnership with DemWatch. Now, with respect to Rappler, well, we received an advisory from the Solicitor General, and we are still studying our options because, I would like to emphasize that COMELEC is a constitutional body and an independent body.
Okay po. To DemWatch po, how do you think debates, specifically the upcoming COMELEC presidential debates, would be helpful for your voter education campaign?
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. Definitely, I think that the COMELEC's debates are something that we all look forward to now as individual citizens. But for our advocacy, I think it would mean a great deal. I think, and I sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I think the debates are a great way to elevate issues that matter and see how our different candidates truly feel about these policies and these challenges that people are facing and how they intend to address them. I think this does a great deal in terms of getting that what we're calling the right kind of information out. And I think this is very valuable to all voters, but especially for the youth that are hungry for knowledge and hungry to learn more about the future of their country. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. For the next question from CNN, we have Melissa Lopez.
Good morning to the commissioners and to the officers of Democracy Watch. First, my question, meron din po kasing sent statement from Contradaya, another election watchdog, saying or calling out that the party list system has become a platform to a backdoor, I guess, for political clans, celebrities, and pro-government NPFL elements to find their way to Congress. First, for DemWatch, is that part of your voter education initiatives, yung pag-educate about dynasties and whether they're good or bad for the country. And maybe on COMELEC's end, ma'am, kasi parang sinasabi rin po ng Conradaya na this should not have happened, na nagiging backdoor nga po yung party list system for these for people who want an easy way into the legislative branch. Thank you po.
Thank you, Melissa. From COMELEC, Chair Aku Chair,
So thank you. I've been given the opportunity to answer first before the commission. So you were asking us about, first of all, Contra Daya is a very familiar group to us. We've partnered with them on several of our other initiatives in the past. And we very much appreciate the work that they're doing as an election watchdog. You were asking earlier what our stand is or the activities we've done in terms of dynasties, right? And the political system of the Philippines. So definitely, as advocates, it's something that we are concerned with. And that's for that reason, we've actually worked very committee on participation in both the House and Senate when it comes to legislation such as this. Of course, we're always concerned with that the country, that the Philippines has a healthy democracy. And I too acknowledge that the issue of dynasties has become a cause for concern. It is definitely one of the issues that, even in between elections is something that Democracy Watch looks into. But for this particular voter education campaign, our focus really is on educating first-time voters and the youth on issues related to disinformation and voting with during the pandemic.
Thank you, Papa. From Acting Chair,
I will take the question. Thank you. Maing buntag. Okay. There are criticisms, there are reactions that the party list groups were used to enter into the legislative branch. On the part of the COMELEC, we are guided by guidelines, we are guided by criteria and requirements that a petitioner to be accredited as a party list group is approved. Aside from that, we have the Atong Paglaom case, which is the case that sets the guidelines. A party, a group, need not be marginalized as long as it has advocacies. So unless those guidelines and prevailing jurisprudence is changed, we will abide by those guidelines. So if there are groups that make it in the elections, we refer it back to the people. It is for the people, for the voters to decide and to discern properly what party list groups to choose during the elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Florina. Follow-up from Minister.
May I add also something? I would like to emphasize that COMELEC merely enforces election laws and legal jurisprudence decided by the Supreme Court. That's all.
Ma'am, sorry, just a follow-up then kanina for the question of Dwight. Just earlier today, ma'am, the Salandanan group filed the 7th DQ petition pending before the former 2nd Division. They filed an urgent motion to resolve because they're saying naiwan po yung kaso nila kasi yung 6 tapos na. Maybe, is there put mo nga Ilocano sila, ma'am. Yung Ilocano group po with Attorney Monson.
I am not aware of that case. I am not aware of that case.
Raffle po siya previously to the former 2nd Division. I think that's you and Commissioner Bulay pa, ma'am. Is there maybe an update or a commitment to dispose of the case?
I don't the case is up for deliberation. So, with respect to that case, we have come up yet for deliberation.
Alright, ma'am. Thank you po.
Yeah, thank you. For next up, we have GMA 7, Sandra Aguinaldo.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, follow up ko na lang din po yung question niya. Sinabi rin po kasi nung grupo na they're running out of time and they're asking in their urgent motion to resolve that the reckoning of the new COMELEC regulation of 45 days, it should be reckoned from January 17. That's the time daw po that they filed their memorandum. May we get your comment on that, ma'am?
Are you referring to the Salandanan case recently mentioned?
Tudlo ang Ilocano, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The one represented by Attorney Christian Monson.
Okay, I am not aware of that case, but as the chairman, I will direct the clerk of the commission to advise the ponente, whose identity I do not know, to fast track the resolution of this case.
Yes, ma'am. On the event today, the MOA signing, I understand that the COMELEC will be sharing data with them. Watch, and may we know what sort of data may be shared with them?
The MOA is about voters' education. So anything related to the process of voting and counting and canvassing. So they can discuss that as part of the voter education. Also, them watch me as part of their voter education campaign. They may set like guidelines for the voter in which to choose, in which the voter may use in selecting the candidates that they will vote on elections. Other data, this is purely for voter education. They won't be needing much data other than the guidelines for the voting, counting, and canvassing of votes.
I would like to correct the earlier statement. I'm acting chairman. I forgot.
We're down to our last 3 questions from Member T5, Manuel Monapilio.
Hi, first po kay Commissioner, Acting Chairperson Indy. Ma'am, you mentioned earlier na wala pa pong resolution dun sa Marcos case na naka-MR po sa ANBank. May we know po kung merong timeline yung ANBank to resolve po?
I cannot recall what is our timeline, but we will be deciding it soon.
Ma'am, sir, sa side naman po ng DemWatch, in the past election po, yung COMELEC ay nagkakaroon na rin ng mga voter education campaign. Paano po magiging kakaiba yung voter education campaign na gagawin nyo?
Yeah, thanks for that. Actually po, when you were referring to the activities, the voter education activities of the COMELEC in the past, we were actually part of those initiatives as partners of the COMELEC for voter education since 2015 for the 2016 elections. This is actually the 3rd elections that we're working with them to help push that advocacy. I think when it comes kasi po to activities such as this, important activities such as this, like voter education, it helps very much to broaden the reach of these initiatives by partnering by the COMELEC partnering with civil society groups like Democracy Watch, as they have with others such as PPCRB, I know Lente, and the sorts, all partners of ours as well. Then I think it's through this combined effort that the COMELEC is able to best achieve its objective of educating Filipino voters. So yan po.
Thank you. We have a follow-up question from Arlene Cruz.
Good morning for Democracy Watch and for the commissioners. First question for Democracy Watch: how would you assess the COMELEC's rules on campaigning, especially the enforcement of the permit to campaign. And for the commissioners, what is your reaction to the Baguio City RTC PRO and injunction, I think, that was issued on 10732, and the requirement for volunteers to get a campaign permit from the COMELEC campaign committees? Thank you very much.
All right, go ahead, Emma.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so for Democracy Watch, first of all, we've been working with the commission, like Director James Jimenez again, for the last few months, and we very much appreciate all the preparations that they're doing for the upcoming elections. I recall, a few months ago, we were able to visit the BCM warehouse in Santa Rosa and to see the work that they're doing there in terms of refurbishing the different machines to make sure that they're good for use on election day this year. In terms of, you were saying, our assessment on the permit to campaign, of course, there's the health concern there. I understand when it comes because of COVID, but I do think that given these guidelines, that it's important that Filipinos are able to learn more about who they're voting for. The television now is still the top source of information. But second to that is already the internet, no longer the radio. And that's why, for us, our advocacy really focuses on that second venue, that information that people pick up through social media and the internet. But yeah, that's all I'd like to say about that so far. Thanks.
Thank you, Paco. For COMELEC, yes, Commissioner Pereira.
Hello. You're asking about the TRO in Baguio City. We have yet to read the copy of the case filed in court, and the matters should be best thrashed out during the hearing, because as I'm informed, the hearing was reset in April. So the COMELEC is preparing to answer the case in court. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We're now
follow-up lang po. So, nire-respect niyo po yung TRO, ma'am, na hindi effective as of now yung resolution, yung new normal rules. Kasi yun po yung interpretation ng petitioners na nationwide hindi muna effective yung permit requirement.
Okay. I have just received this morning an unofficial copy of the order issuing the PRO, and it only gives the COMELEC Cordillera Administrative Region 72 hours to cease and desist from enforcing COMELEC Resolution number 10732, because the jurisdiction of the RTC Baguio is only within CAR, the Cordillera Administrative Region. So we will still communicate with our election workers in CAR.
Alright, that wraps up our